Thank God it's Friday. Good morning and thank you for joining us on the Friday edition of TVC Breakfast. I'm Veronica Dan Igboy. I'm not here alone. I have Ibrahim Shita join me this morning. Ibrahim, the weekend is upon us.
Well, unfortunately, there is no Thank God It's Friday on this desk. You know. There is no weekend on this desk.
You didn't have to go there. Just accept.
It's always good to remind
today
you
is
so
Friday.
that you don't have
Today
a short.
is Friday.
You don't have short-term, reprieve or happiness like, oh, tomorrow it's today's Friday and tomorrow is weekend. You'll be here tomorrow.
But the pressure of work for the weekend is not as during the week, so it's still something to look forward to.
Honestly, it's always good to have that kind of escapism, even though at the end of the day, it's to be back to the table. Good morning to you.
All right, so good morning. Right, we have an array of issues we'll be looking at today, and we'll be looking at the matter of the rising inflation in the country, as well as the Japa syndrome, if it can be curbed, what can be done. And then we're also going to look at the level of domestic violence in Lagos. That is where we'll begin this morning. Domestic violence has been on the rise with cases of men battering their partners, but the trend seems to be changing as the Lagos state government has now reported at least 340 cases of wives beating their husbands in the last year. Now, the Executive Secretary of Lagos Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, Mrs. Titilola Vivour-Adeniyi, disclosed this in a quarterly report by the agency. She further disclosed that these cases are between September 2022 and July 2023. It's interesting to see that the culture of silence is changing, with men now beginning to speak up, because before now, we saw men not wanting to speak up with regards to this matter of domestic violence. They've been victims, so to speak, because their ego was something that came to play, and it's often said men do not cry if they are going through certain things. Men, yes, they are the man, you are the man, That's you're right. The man, you're not supposed to say this kind of things. It's not good for your image. But it is interesting to see that we are seeing a change with regards to that. They are speaking up. About 340 men were said to have spoken up with regards to this case between 2022 and now. But it's also quite concerning that we are seeing women now changing the narrative with regards to matters of domestic violence, attacking their husband, beating up their husbands. Something is going on.
Well, it's I really do not know how to approach this issue, because when I saw the story, I was like, oh, wow. Although it didn't come as a surprise, because as journalists, we tend to see oddities, we tend to see bizarre news, and we're quite used to some of this not interesting news, but then very sour to the tongue news. It happens not only in Nigeria, not only in Lagos, it happens several places. The worst case scenario is when we've seen women killing their husband, and that's really, really worse. It means that something must have led to that kind of a thing. What leads to something like this could be jealousy, could be low self-esteem on the side of the woman, could be anger management issues, could be feeling inferior, could be cultural beliefs, or being someone who is abused right from childhood, or seeing how her own parents, or even on the other side, seeing their parents abusing their partners. So I do not think if it's the fact that it used to be men that abused their wives, or that abuse their wives, doesn't mean that it is not nice to hear that it is the other way around.
No, but it's just good. I'm not saying it is nice.
No, nobody said it's nice. I'm only saying that the fact that we used to have it that way doesn't make it any good that, the attacker, the one who is attacked is now attacking the attacker. None of the two sides is good. So it's very important that when men or women are having the tendencies to be abused or abuse the other partner, it's always good for them to seek counsel. It's always good for them to, sit down. Where is the place of, dialogue, negotiation? Negotiation, communication, have thoroughbred conversation. And, it also boils down to the fact that how this couple were raised by the parents. You know, the kind of environment.
It goes back
the
to the foundation.
Socio-economic factors. If you look at the economic situation and all of that, so it can run so many people amok,
right.
you know, in terms of dealing with their partners. But I feel that it's not a good thing. It's very important that they seek, you know, counsel, talk to those who will help them, give them therapeutic, you know, measures.
Therapy, yeah.
In terms of
unfortunately, in this part of the world, a majority of persons do not embrace therapy. Seeing a shrink or speaking to persons about your private life, what is going on. Most people feel that this is bringing a third party into their private business, so to speak. But if this person is going to give you the needed help or just point you in the direction that will help you at the end of the day, I think it's important to embrace such a help. But then again, let's also interrogate the root of this matter. It's both sides. A marriage is 50-50. It's not 70-30. It's not 80-20. It is commitment from both sides. So we are both married, so we understand we can talk about these things. Right. We're in good stead to speak about these things. So it is the level of commitment on both sides to ensuring that it works. Yes, we know that we have economic issues. We have all sorts of challenges. As long as you are human, you will face one challenge or the other. But how you go about it is what matters. We need to begin to understand that we are not against each other, that it is supposed to be two of you against the world. And world, I mean, against what the issues are. Yeah. So you have to look at matters from the same point of view. How do we address this issue? That is what it's supposed to be. Right. Yes, there are some persons who are from broken homes who made up their minds that they will not have broken homes. That's right. There are those who are from abusive homes who have made up their mind that, you know what, I am going to give the best to my partner. I do not want to have my children raised in what the situation I went through. Right. Yes, it could be a vicious cycle, but there is a way you can break that cycle by making up your mind to ensure that that circle ends with you. All of those issues ends with you. But what steps are you taking? And it begins from the dating or courtship stage, the kinds of conversations you have. These days, we know that a lot of women are ensuring that they get themselves financially stable one way or the other because of the situation on the ground. And we also know that some women are the breadwinners and so can be burdened by the challenge of, oh, I am the one taking up certain responsibilities. You are not doing as much. But then there is a way the man can come in to help cushion the effects of whatever it is that you're going through. Now, it still boils back to how are you engaging one another? If you have a burnout, are you communicating with your partner to say that I am burning out as it is because of the weight of the challenges that I am carrying? How do you come in? Can you come in this way to help me out? These are conversations that can be had to help cushion the effect. It is not your world against mine. It is both of you against the world, the challenges and all those external forces. Yes, there have been talks about the influence, Western influence on our culture, where women are seeking liberation, so to speak, and all. But that's not necessarily the issue here. If you have the right conversation.